Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and this time I'm going to compare two amazing cities, Chattanooga, Tennessee versus Tampa, Florida. If you're deciding between the two, you're choosing between two radically different cities and radically different experiences, to be honest. One nestled in the foothills of the Appalachians, being Chattanooga, and the other basking in Gulf Coast sunshine, being Tampa. Chattanooga is an outdoor lover's paradise with scenic rivers, mountain trails, very nice people, while Tampa blends diverse culture and a relatively deep culture, year-round beach weather, and so much more. So starting with the first thing I'm going to compare, the overall city layout. Chattanooga is small, very easy to navigate. Almost every time I've been here, traffic was never bad. Very, very easy to drive through. The city hugs the Tennessee River and is framed by ridges and hills. This makes it both scenic and compact. Coolidge Park, the Bluff View Art District, and the Riverwalk are all within walking range or biking distance. Better yet, connecting both sides of Chattanooga is one of the world's longest pedestrian bridges. Now, when it comes to Tampa's city layout, it's a sprawling metro area, many distinct districts. To be honest, driving is kind of a pain here. Traffic is really bad. It has downtown, Ybor City, which is a separate area and probably one of my favorite parts of Tampa. Also, it has Hyde Park, upscale region, and a few other areas. Because Tampa is a lot more spread out, getting around often requires a car and takes a decent while, to be honest. I will say it does have very scenic drive along Bayshore Boulevard. You can either drive Bayshore Boulevard, but you can walk it as well, and it's actually the world's longest sidewalk right on the Tampa Bay. So overall, when it comes to the city layout, Chattanooga is so much easier to navigate, and it's also much more pedestrian friendly, with the exception of Ybor City in Tampa, which is relatively compact. The next thing to compare, the overall architecture. Chattanooga blends industrial revival with Appalachian charm. Historic brick warehouses converted into restaurants, the pedestrian-friendly Walnut Street Bridge. It also has the incredible Dome building, which is a must-see. Also, a few relatively modernized buildings as well. Also, the Chattanooga Choo-Choo is a pretty cool historic building. However, when it comes to Tampa's architecture, it's a lot more diverse. You'll find early 20th century cigar factories in Ybor City, Mediterranean revival mansions in Hyde Park, sleek glass skyscrapers in downtown. Overall, it's very modern. Even the Riverwalk here in Tampa feels very modern. I would say architecturally, Tampa wins for a variety of reasons, but Chattanooga has a very nice charm to it. And how it's integrated within nature, that's very nice as well. The third thing I'm going to compare is the overall vibe and atmosphere. Every time I'm in Chattanooga, the people are always so incredibly friendly. Maybe I just get lucky every single time I'm there. I don't think so. I think it's real. People are just so nice over here. It's a pretty laid back vibe. Also a pretty outdoorsy vibe, which is not something that I see too often in cities of this size. They say people here often kayak on their lunch break, hit a hiking trail directly after work since so many are nearby. There's a very youthful energy driven by climbers, artists, and entrepreneurs here. Also, weekends feel local. Many farmers markets, food trucks, live music events, and they put on events very often over here. Tampa, on the other hand, is actually very different. Very, very fast-paced, in my opinion. And weirdly enough, when I came here, I was expecting a coastal vibe. To be honest, I didn't feel a coastal vibe. I felt a relatively large city vibe. But if you're into that, that's cool. The overall mix of Latin, Caribbean, and Southern influence gives the city a vibrant social scene, particularly in Ybor City. That's relatively separate than the downtown area though. But I will say my overall favorite vibe in Tampa definitely is in Ybor City. Historic architecture, cigars everywhere, not as fast paced, and people seem to have more fun in this region of Tampa. And the fourth thing I'm going to compare is the overall cultural scene. Chattanooga punches above its weight culturally. The Bluff View Art District is amazing. It is so much fun over here. Very, very artistic. Lots of art all over the place. Sculptures. Chattanooga also has sculpture fields at Montage Park. This place is amazing. And from what I've heard, there's a pretty strong pride for supporting homegrown art and music here. Tampa, on the other hand, a wider and more global cultural scene. It's home to the Tampa Museum of Art, and it has a pirate-themed festival that rivals Mardi Gras in energy. The fifth thing I'm going to compare is the overall water access. Chattanooga sits on the Tennessee River, offering easy access for kayaking, paddleboarding, riverside trails. We actually just made a video kayaking the Tennessee River from Coolidge Park here in Chattanooga. We kayaked under some of these bridges, which is really cool. You can see Lookout Mountain in the background. And we kayaked to a pretty cool island called McClellan Island, which you can park, explore, hang out. Really cool. Tampa, on the other hand, sits on the Tampa Bay. A lot of boating, fishing, jet skiing, sailing. However, I will say the closest real beach is roughly a 30 to 45 minute drive to Clearwater, but Tampa does have smaller beaches and you can see incredible sunsets. So in terms of mileage, not too far away from downtown, Davis Island Beach is amazing. Also, it has Ben T. Davis Beach. This place is pretty cool, however, it's next to a major highway, so it's not very peaceful. A lot of cars going by. Furthermore, Tampa also has the Tampa Riverwalk. Free to walk on, very modern. It was actually one of my favorite places here in Tampa. And of course, the Bayshore Boulevard on the Tampa Bay. You can walk alongside the Tampa Bay. Very, very cool. Now, when it comes to the overall tourism and crowds of these cities, Chattanooga is pretty popular, but not overwhelming. It draws outdoor travelers, hikers, weekend adventurers, particularly from Nashville, Atlanta, or people in the region visiting the Tennessee Aquarium, Lookout Mountain, and even the festivals are relatively manageable, not too many people. Tampa, on the other hand, can get extremely crowded. As I said, driving here was a pain for me. They also have a lot of sporting events, and apparently it gets even more crowded. Areas like Clearwater Beach, Ybor City can get really packed. So if you prefer a place with a quieter, lower key visit, easier to get around, Chattanooga. If you love the crowds and the buzz of the big city, Tampa. The next thing I'm going to compare are the outdoor activities. This is where Chattanooga truly shines. It's a haven for hiking, rock climbing, kayaking, biking. Trails like Craven House, which is what we actually hiked at one point, is a lot of fun. It takes you up to Sunset Rock. Not only is it a very historic place with some Civil War history, you can watch mountain climbers there and also beautiful views of Chattanooga. Along with that, Glen Falls is a really good hike as well. There are so many hikes and kayak areas here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tampa, on the other hand, also offers great outdoor activities, especially on the water. You can actually paddleboard or do all sorts of crazy water sports on the Hillsborough River. This is the river that's actually next to the Tampa Riverwalk. But Lettuce Lake Park is also a really good area. A boardwalk with nature trails. Many people like to bike the Bayshore Boulevard, which is the longest continuous sidewalk in the world, and also the smaller beaches here in the area. So in short, Chattanooga has mountains and the river. Tampa, no mountains, but has river and, with a little bit of driving, the beaches. A few other things worth mentioning. The Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga is really cool, but what is amazing here, a must visit, Rock City Gardens. This place is amazing. It also has Point Park, the Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park. Chalk Alley is pretty cool. That's located in downtown. It has a pretty good nightlife as well, I would say. The really cool Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum and a pinball museum. Tampa, on the other hand, has the Henry B. Plant Museum. This place has stunning architecture. It almost looks like a palace. You can see it when you drive in so many parts in Tampa. Also, the Sparkman Wharf. This is basically a place where they turn shipping containers into food vendors. And one of its absolute top attractions, Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. So many roller coasters here. To wrap all of this up, choose Chattanooga if you prefer mountain views, hiking trails, riverfront adventures. A city that's not too small but not too big, but really easy to get by. A lot of very friendly people. Easy place to kayak, easy place to paddleboard. Easily walkable. Kind of like a small town, just with a big city. But choose Tampa if you prefer the buzz of a big city. Lots of sun, diverse food, Cuban culture. And speaking of food, they have the world's largest Spanish restaurant called Columbia Restaurant. That's located in the Ybor City district. And Tampa also has many types of sporting events as well. And they also have a really good river, the Hillsborough River. So I hope this video helped you figure out where you want to visit. But if you need to look into it a little bit more, check out this video on the left of Tampa, Florida, or check out this video on the right, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a blessed day.